Well, welcome and thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Really excited about this evening, and most excited to move us to what I think is going to be a wonderful presentation by Shiva. So we'll get to that pretty quickly. So we just finished our 3-day summer symposium. We have our symposium every year as part of our program. It's one of our program components, and it's about one of our values. We have 4 values at our organization. We have leadership, community, relentlessness, and accountability. And this year it was about leadership, and it was really a great 3 days. So just having all these young folks in our program that are already leaders as part of the 3 days is good enough for me. But we do introduce some additional context and conversation into the mix. And we had CEOs, we had doctors, we had a 2-star rear admiral. So if you're not into the military thing, that's in the Navy, and that's the equivalent of a 2-star general in the rest of the military. So that's a big deal, and that's real leadership. And so I was just really excited about the last 3 days. It was really great. So all these guys are coming out of that experience. And I have to be honest, I am a little tired. And why is that? Well, first, I am old, and so there is that. But we just are now, with this event, finishing at Greenhouse Scholars, having 4 events in 4 days. So I was in Chicago last week with a lot of the other folks at Greenhouse Scholars, and we had on Saturday our Venus to Miles bike ride in Illinois, and that was Saturday during the day. And then Saturday in the evening, we had a couple hundred people for an event sort of like this. It was a farm dinner on the North Shore of Chicago. And then we all got on a plane on Sunday morning and started the symposium on Sunday, and now here we are at the annual Inspire. And I bring it up not because I want you all to know that I'm tired, but I bring it up because we have worked really hard to build a great team at Greenhouse Scholars. And we have a great team, and I'm really excited about our team. And to pull off, a long time ago when I was young, I used to be in the event industry. And it is very hard to do big scale events, and to do 4 in 4 days is ridiculous. So if you wouldn't mind, everybody that works at Greenhouse Scholars, if you wouldn't mind please standing. A lot of the folks that work at Greenhouse Scholars are here. Andrew Poole's over there. You're not standing fast enough. So you can see all the folks that are standing.
She doesn't look tired.
Yeah, she's young. So thanks for clapping for them, because they're awesome. And the whole team's not here, but I just appreciate everybody clapping for them, because they've been doing a great job. So let's see. A lot of people that I recognize, a lot of folks that I'm not sure I do recognize, and so because of that, I will bore the people that have been with us for a long time, and I will talk a little bit for the new folks about what we're trying to do, the work we're doing, and how we're doing it. And I'll do it by talking about a phrase and a word that we use a lot at our organization. The phrase is catalysts for lasting change, and the word is leverage. And so, catalysts for lasting change. We now, after 9 years, have, with our scholars, worked to come up with the ideas for, fund, and with them working really hard at it, execute the startup of now 9 distinct additional nonprofit organizations. We have, with our scholars, mentored thousands and thousands and thousands of additional young people in middle school and high school, very directly mentored these folks, changing their paths. And we've also now over 100 very specific projects in communities in over 20 countries, and lots of communities here in Colorado that have changed these low-income communities through these projects. And so this idea of catalysts for lasting change is not about doing something, for instance, making sure all these guys stay on the path that they're already on and graduate from college, which is great and awesome. But it's about broader change. It's about ripple effect. It's about low-income communities really changing forever. And so that's what we're trying to do. And that word leverage is how we're trying to do it. So it starts with this idea of a very organized, very rigorous selection process. So if you're going to leverage something, you want to leverage something that actually can affect the other things you're trying to grow through. And that's what we're doing with our scholars. So these are the top 1% of the top 10% of the highest performing people you could ever meet our selection process is more rigorous than Stanford or Harvard's. And they're changing the trajectories of their lives, their families, and their low-income communities they came from and other low-income communities that they care a lot about. So leverage for us is a big deal. Business term really working for us because of the nature of the young people in our program. So that's what we're up to. We want to get to Shiva, so I just want to thank our sponsors. So first, Spatial Energy. They work through satellite imaging and data content with the oil and gas industry. They're a really high-quality firm, a leader in their industry with a great management team, and we're honored to have them supporting us. And then R&B Capital. R&B Capital has been with us since the beginning. This is a firm that has supported us since we started. They support us nationally. They support us in Illinois, where they're headquartered. They support us here in Colorado, where they have a significant presence and an office in Denver. And interestingly, when you get a partnership like that, you start to recognize values, because values really are what drive great cultures and great organizations. And their organization is like ours. They want to build an organization from the ground up, a grassroots approach to relationships and business building. And the majority of their business has come from referrals. And it's not surprising because of the results that they're producing, both in wealth management and asset management. They're an incredible firm. They're one of the leaders in the country, and we're so thankful that they're our lead sponsor for this event. So if you wouldn't mind clapping for our sponsors, I really appreciate it. So that's it for me. Thank you all again. This is a celebration of our community. You guys are a big part of our community. Community is a big deal to us, and we really appreciate everything you're doing in support of Greenhouse Scholars. Thanks a bunch.